G'day everyone, I'm Emblem Blaze, and welcome back to episode number 7 of the TriPoint podcast. I remembered this time.
It is 7.
With my co-host as per always, Kinunners.
Hello.
And yeah, I've been straight into the topics today, I guess. Gleeok Adventures, go.
Okay, so I actually haven't fought a Gleeok in the past week.
Oh no.
However, I did accidentally activate a main story mission.
With a Gleeok?
No.
Oh.
No, I went to go investigate a place that looked interesting, and it furthered a main story quest, and I was like, what? I was not expecting that.
Okay. Oh, that's alright.
So I did that instead.
Okay. Yeah, that's simple, easy, out of the way. Okay, what I want to talk about today, I don't know how long it's going to take. It might be a smaller episode. It might be an extremely long episode. We'll find out.
No, no.
I want to talk about the Halo franchise as a whole and its future.
Oh.
Oh?
Oh.
What?
Wow.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
the
Also
way you
said it
reacted
as like,
made it
a big topic.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, it might be a big one, it might be a small one. Depends, I guess. Because recently, they did state that there are other Halo projects in the works.
Oh, they have more?
More in the works.
That's news to me.
More in the works. I believe it was like a month or two ago. That they announced. They announced it before the Spirit of Fire stuff came through, I think.
Oh, okay.
For reference to anybody listening, I have been like out of Halo for a little bit.
Yeah.
Other than like the TV show, of which I haven't yet watched the last episode.
You need to do that.
I've been out of it for a little bit yet. However, I have come back.
Yeah.
And I've been listening up on different bits and pieces on what's been happening and all that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of projects in the works, and at 343 at the moment, which is interesting.
I mean, that's always good.
My best guess is one of them's a spin-off and the other is Halo 7. That would be
Halo 7.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they'd call it Halo 7 since they switched to named titles now. However, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, basically, they're in other works at the moment. Therefore, I thought it would be a good opportunity. I like saying opportunity like that because it's fun.
Opportunity.
Opportunity to sort of go through our thoughts on, I guess, the entirety of the franchise.
It's good.
It's good. I like that. It's good with flaws, like any franchise.
Yeah.
That's not, I don't know, Kirby or something.
There.
I guess
I don't
Kirby
think
has
there
like
is a series without flaws.
Star Allies. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, for I think we can go into that. Where should we start?
At the beginning, I suppose.
At the beginning. Millions of years in the past, there was Forerunners and ancient humanity and No, we won't go there. Not necessarily into the lore, I don't think. However,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I guess, yeah, starting at CE and working our way through.
Yeah,
We'll go.
I think so.
We'll go by the game's release rather than the game's timeline, I guess. Because I guess we could talk about the games in general. CE is great.
It is?
I'll be the first to say that. CE is my favorite game, period. Like, that's it.
Of all time or just Halo?
Yeah, all time.
Oh. I mean,
CE is like, yeah, I like CE. There's a lot. I think CE is very different to a lot of the other Halo games coming after it. I think.
yeah.
Honestly, out of all the games, Halo Infinite is probably the closest to CE. However, it misses a lot of the marks for me, personally.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to CE, I mean, the first thing I can talk about is like the weapon balance and all that sort of thing. Like, every weapon, it's such a small pool of weapons. However, each one has like a very specific purpose.
Yeah, they all do a very specific thing.
Yeah, and they're all useful in their own way, which a lot of the games afterwards do have a little bit of overlap in a lot of their a lot of their weapons. However, yeah, no, like in CE, it's like you use the Magnum if you want to do the quicks and the accuracy. However, like at the same time, it's fully automatic, which means you can hold it down and use it, all that sort of thing. And then the AR you can use as a fully automatic. It drains shields really quickly, which is good. Plasma weapons. The plasma rifle tends to stun enemies. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
It can stun enemies. And then like the plasma pistol has its charge shot and all that sort of thing. Yeah, every weapon has like its own unique thing, and like they're all perfectly balanced almost, I feel, into the sandbox.
They're pretty good.
And I think that's one of the biggest things I like about CE is like everything feels like it works like well.
Yeah.
It feels like everything's there for a reason. I understand there's like a lot of issues that people have with like the reuse of locations in CE. Like half the levels are one thing, and then the next half of the levels are reuses of that. However, I feel like they do it differently enough that it's not terrible.
For the time that it came out as well.
Yeah, 2001.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and they do change up the levels a fair bit. Like, say you're going through the Truth and Reconciliation, which is the Covenant ship in one of the levels.
Yeah.
In the level Truth and Reconciliation.
Wow.
You spend the first level that you do in it, you go through it and all that sort of thing, like the ship and everything that it is. On the second level you have with it, you're going sort of back through it, battling the flood, and then you jump out into a goopy green lake and travel across the ground for a while in the night. I like that. It's fun. Lake. I think the idea, because the flood comes in halfway through the game, and like every level after that, even though a lot of them have like reused parts in them, like a lot of them have been like floodified. Almost. Yeah,
they're like different enough.
Yeah, I think they're different enough at least. I think the other sticking point for a lot of people is the level of the library, which is granted a very confusing level and a very slow level.
I think every Halo game has one confusing level.
Well, yeah, every Halo game has like that level. Like
they have that.
The level that like no one ever wants to replay because it's such a slog.
Yeah.
And like that is the library in Halo CE. Even then, I'm not I don't mind it personally. I don't know. Something about CE's physics are hilarious, especially in multiplayer. Like I think we've always sort of said this, where it's like if you want to like have a little bit more of like, I guess, a casual competitive side, you go to any other Halo game. If you simply want to have fun, go to Halo CE because it's the most goofy thing ever.
Also, the people who get their name or who have their names in CE, for some reason they just have the most hilarious tags ever.
Yeah, yeah. I think CE is more like,
it's just a goof.
Yeah, CE is more like where the other games are like fun because of all the systems they introduce and everything like that. CE is like fun because it's simply that, it's like pure fun. Like that's. It's such a funny little thing. And I personally, like, the story in CE is my favorite story. I know it's not the most complex thing in the world.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, it's probably the most simple of all the Halo stories.
Yeah.
However, like, at the same time...
it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for being the first one. However, like, I think, like... I don't know. I think it's, like, the plot twist in the middle with the flood and everything like that, and then, like... destroying the ring at the end. I don't know. It's filled with all those moments.
It's
like
good.
I will always remember. Like when I initially finished the game, I did it in 2 sittings. I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
At a computer at nighttime with headphones on, and like I don't know. There's something about that. This is great. CE is great. I like CE. It will always be my favorite one, even if it is purely for nostalgia.
Okay.
And it has like, if not my favorite, I can't remember where I ranked it in my Needler ranking video. It's either my favorite or like my second favorite Needler in all the games. It's slow, granted. However, like the tracking on it is hilariously funny.
Yeah.
I feel like you could like run around a corner and it may be able to track you around the corner if it wants to. It's like...
Yeah, it's just... it just homes in.
I guess moving on to 2, which you don't have much experience with, do you?
I do not, actually.
2 is difficult.
I think 2 and 3 are the ones I have the least experience with.
Yeah, two is very difficult.
Yeah, I
Compared
do
to
know
all.
that much.
I mean, it's not overly difficult depending on how you play it. However, like I've finished it on Legendary twice now, and I'm never doing that again. Uh, it's probably because originally Halo 2 was my favorite Halo game. However, like it has
Yeah.
slowly moved down the ranks as time has gone on, and it's because like I think I've come to appreciate CE's like functions more over time, where I've come to like unappreciate Halo 2's more over time. I think it's really odd how like Halo 2 is like almost hyper competitive with a lot of things,
It is.
especially with its multiplayer. I can never play normal Halo 2 multiplayer because like anytime I hop in there, I'm gone instantly almost. It's like
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
even in casual, it's like no, this isn't working. It's like it's not gonna work. However, like yeah, no, I think Halo 2 is great though. Like overall, like he plays the Arbiter for the first time and all that sort of stuff. Like
so it is a bit ironic. The game I know the least about has brought in one of my favorite characters.
yeah, it's like the Arbiter's all in there. Like the story for Halo 2, admittedly, is pretty good. Like it one ups Halo CE's story. However, I personally prefer the simplicity of CE's story. However, like objectively, Halo 2's story goes all out. Like
Yeah.
it's probably the most like it's probably objectively the best story out of the entire franchise. I want to say, maybe.
I mean, it makes sense, I think.
Yeah, Halo 3 went back a little bit on its story. It went a little bit more simple, I think.
Yeah.
If you're looking for like the biggest like best story, I think because like with the split paths and everything like that, splitting between Chief and the Arbiter and all that, sort of, sort of, it expands a lot more, I guess, and it expands
It
a lot
was
of the Covenant and
ambitious.
everything like that.
And did it well.
Yeah, it was very ambitious. It almost didn't make it out to market.
Yeah.
It was made in like 10 months.
Yeah.
And they had to cut half of it and make Halo 3.
Yeah.
Just this whole thing of like, yeah. I think it'd be interesting to see a lot of the cut stuff that didn't make it into Halo 3 be brought back in some way. I saw MCC was going to be doing that at one point. Yeah, there's like
I think there was.
yeah. The Earth missions and everything like that, there was like entirely different parts of it that were cut. There was a warthog run at the end that was cut. Like, oh yeah, no, it's definitely. I think like looking back at my Halo experiences, I think Halo 2 is great. However, I wouldn't place it near the top of my Halo games list anymore. Maybe.
Fair.
I think Halo 3, on the other hand, I would. I like my segue.
Yeah, it's a great segue.
Yeah, no. Halo 3, it's a lot more like Halo 1 in a lot of ways. With it's linear, however, it's an open linear, which is what I prefer. Like, it's an open linear.
It's got one direction, but it's
you can
open
explore
enough to
during
make it
going that one
enjoyable.
direction.
Yeah.
Whereas Halo 2 is very linear. Like,
Yeah.
it's
way.
really linear. And like Halo 3 it's a little bit more open, like Halo CE. I think Halo Infinite, in my opinion, goes a little bit too far in the other direction.
It's too open.
We'll get to that. However, like I'm not the biggest. I'm not the biggest open person anyway. Generally,
Yeah, you're very like
I'm much more of a linear.
prefer it to be
Yeah,
in one direction.
yeah. I like running through the game as opposed to. I'm not the hugest like explorer there is. However, I don't mind exploring, which is why I prefer like Halo 1 and 3 do it, where you can explore the bits that are there.
It's
however,
like half and half.
yeah, there's secrets to find. However, like if I want to like blast through as quick as I can, that's the
Yeah, I
thing.
mean you can do that too.
Yeah, without worrying about secrets. However, like and it doesn't impact the story if I try to blast through it like it would with Halo
yeah.
Infinite. However, yeah, no, Halo 3. I do really enjoy Halo 3. I wouldn't say it's one of my. It might be my third favorite, maybe, out of the Halo games. However, like the one thing with Halo 3 that's always gotten me is its physics feel a little off.
I think that is, yeah.
I don't know why specifically.
I
Like
think
I do
even
like
playing in multiplayer,
yeah.
it's like
I
there's
like
something there that's like, what?
I enjoy playing it. Like overall, like I much prefer it to
Yeah.
like some of the other Halo games. However, like something about the physics I've never been able to gel with as much as I can with like CEs. And I don't know
Yeah,
what it
it's
is
just,
because like
it's slightly off for some reason.
yeah, so it's something I think there's a lot of different reasons behind it. Like in the spaghetti
Yeah,
code that is
probably.
the original Halo trilogy. And yeah, there's probably a lot of reasons for it. I don't know. I remember back when MCC first came to PC, there was this huge patch that they had to update it with, like with the 60 FPS stuff, because a lot of the stuff wasn't
Yeah.
working right with Halo 3.
Yeah.
Going from 30 to 60 FPS, it like broke a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Because of how Halo 3's physics works, like I think grenades are more important than some weapon fire or something like that in the back end of its code and things like that. Therefore, like if a grenade goes off, it can affect how a weapon. It's really odd.
Yeah, it's just all over the place.
However, I think when it comes to like especially like the sandbox aspect of Halo 3, like all the different weapons and everything like that, I think that's where it shines.
That's good.
Yeah. I think maybe, I guess if you don't include Halo 5 with its way too many variants of weapons.
I would not include 5 stuff.
Yeah, because Halo 5 has that many variants of things. And I think Reach might have a little more. I might be wrong about that. However, Halo 3 would probably have the largest amount of weapons if Reach doesn't have a little more.
Yeah.
And the thing with 3 as well, which I think a lot of the newer Halo games sort of don't, or at least don't sort of tend to do, is a lot of those weapons, while there is some overlap compared to what CE has in here, like Halo 3 at least tries to give them all a distinct feature.
Yeah, it has it, so it's like these things still do these specific things.
Whether it works or
However,
not
they're
is a whole
similar.
other thing, because I wouldn't, personally, I don't find the spiker very useful usually, all that sort of stuff. Like,
Oh, yeah. Usefulness
it's
is
sort of like,
debatable.
oh, something I forgot to mention with Halo 2 as well, which carries on to Halo 3, is the dual wielding.
Oh yeah, the dual wielding.
Which it's a feature I like.
I
However,
like it.
I don't use it very often.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the
Depends on
idea.
the weapon, I think.
I don't like I understand why. However, I don't like that they have to nerf a lot of weapons to work with it though.
Yeah.
Like you look at the Magnum in 3 compared to 1, and it's like it's useless. Like compared to
That's
1,
true.
it's very hard to like. The BR is like all you really want in 3 because it will do everything,
Yeah.
and like, and then I don't know, some power weapon. The BR and a power weapon usually gets you out of pretty much everything in Halo 3. It's like
It's pretty good.
yeah. However, like yeah, no, and then. Yeah, the Halo 3, I do think it's great overall, though. I really like Halo 3. I like its more simpler story as well. I like that multiplayers can play as the elite. It's like 2 elites in the Arbiter.
That's fun.
Which is something I wish they would add back to like newer games. Like at least being able to play, like if you're playing multiplayer, like having the second player play as someone else that's not Halo 5.
Yeah.
Not including
Halo 5 doesn't count.
Anyway, yeah, no. Halo 3, quite enjoy Halo 3. Next up, I believe, is Wars.
Ah, well.
I like Wars.
You can take this one.
I guess I won't talk about too much about the what are they called? What's the genre?
I can't think of it.
Yeah, that top-down tactical like RPG thing.
Yeah.
I guess I won't talk too much about them because they're like, I don't know, they are very separate, I guess. However, they are part of the franchise as a whole, and I really like them personally. The story's great, in my opinion. I really like the stories and the characters and everything like that.
I've never played him, but
yeah, Jerome is like one of my favorite characters out of the series. And
yeah.
The Spartans really didn't have much personality in the first game. That was more in the second game. That sort of thing. However, the first game I think is pretty good, and when it comes to that type of like top-down strategy game on like an Xbox, when it first came out, like type thing. It wasn't on PC or anything like that. Like that was,
Yeah,
I think it was really well done because usually those sort of things like work best with PC.
they do
Yeah,
generally.
for, like that sort of thing. And the cutscenes in Halo Wars, like even the first one. We'll get to Halo Wars 2's cutscenes. Yeah, however, like the cutscenes in Halo Wars are like they're great. I want a whole like movie animated like that. Like I think that'd be
Yes.
good. You know, Wars is good. I like Wars a lot. ODST.
Um, I think it's not bad.
I was expecting you to say Virgil straight away.
Yeah, Virgil, one of my other
Virgil's like
favorite characters.
great.
Virgil is amazing.
I like that it's very like Firefly-esque, which is a show. I don't know if you know it.
Yeah, I do know it.
Okay, which
Haven't
has
seen it,
Nathan Fillion and the other cast and all that
Yeah.
sort of thing. Yeah, it's basically like they've taken like Firefly and made a Halo version of it, and I really like that. I don't like what happens to the characters in the books afterwards. That I won't go into that. How like that's a whole thing. How like yeah, no, I think
Indeed it is.
ODST is one that I never used to like very much. However, it's grown on me over time. I think.
That is understandable.
Yeah, I don't. It's very Halo 3.
I had a similar thing as like, not that I didn't like it necessarily. I was more so just it was there, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's fine. But then once I played it a little bit more, I was like, oh, this isn't actually bad.
Yeah, I like this a lot. Like, I like it a lot, and like, I mean, it's basically like it plays exactly almost like Halo 3, just except for like a shield.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's so much like it would have been interesting to see if they changed it up a little bit more than simply only removing the shield,
Yeah.
like not being able to jump quite as high or having the weapon models be the right size in the hand, and not a tiny little needler.
The needle.
Oh golly.
Oh.
Yeah, no, things like that. I like that it added like some different weapons in as well, like the silenced version of the SMG and the whatever.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I like that sort of stuff, and I like that in MCC they brought that over to Halo 3 as well.
Yeah.
I like that as well, and they brought the BR over to ODST and MCC.
Yeah.
It all comes together.
It's come
Have
full
you know?
circle.
I think ODST, if I have to give like a good point to each of these games, I guess, like CE is my favorite and the most well-rounded. 2 is probably the best when it comes to story. 3 is probably, I don't know. I'll work that out as I keep going
3
along.
is 3.
Wars
It's
is a
the
really
middle.
great like strategy game for an Xbox, and ODST I would say is probably got the best atmosphere out of any Halo game.
It has Virgil.
It has virtual, yeah. But, like, it has the best like atmosphere out of any of the Halos, I think. Like you're walking around in Mombasa streets,
Mombasa.
yeah, like during that night when it's like raining and everything like that, and you can hear the telephones going
Yeah,
off
it is good.
in the distance and all that sort of thing. It's like, oh, that's immersive. like,
It's got good atmospheric design.
it's the type of game that I want to walk around in that city on a giant theater screen with all the speakers around me.
That would be fun.
Like that'd be neat. But like, yeah, no, I think for that sort of reason, like, yeah, like graphically it's not bad because it's based off Halo 3. I guess that's something to
Yeah,
sort of
it
talk
is.
about. Like, while CE's graphics have aged, I really do like them a lot.
They're adorable.
I think it's really bright and colorful CE, which is
Yeah, that's it.
hilarious. Like CE never takes itself that seriously compared to a lot of other games. I think 2 takes itself a lot more seriously, therefore everything's a lot more dark, generally.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like there's some parts on the rings that aren't as dark, however, like generally it's a little bit more dark. And I prefer the bright and
Yeah.
colourful.
I do.
However, like, yeah, 3 is bright and colourful again. I don't know.
Yeah.
I will find a big point for it that it will have to itself later.
It is the middle.
Although, yeah, and then like ODST is a little bit more dark again. However, like it's more like a somber dark
works,
as opposed
though.
to like a, yeah, it's very very jazzy. I'm not a big fan of jazz music, however, I think it works for it.
The elevator
Yeah.
music.
Speaking of dark, though, Reach,
Ah. Never let cat drive.
Never Let Cat Drive. I think I would assume the same thing for you. Not, it's probably my least favorite Halo game.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of its grittiness, like at all, in the slightest. And the physics of it, like with Halo 3, like I thought the physics were a little bit off. However, like I could easily play it and have
Just
fun with
physics
them.
are just
The physics in Halo Reach feel wrong. I don't know what it is.
there is something off.
It's funny though because like a lot of its physics were carried over to Halo 4, and as we'll get to, we really like Halo 4.
Yeah.
It's odd. I don't know what it is. Something in Reach that feels really off. Whatever it is. I guess positives for Reach though, you get to play as yourself,
Yep.
and the characters are great.
The characters are great. Except Cat's driving.
Yeah, characters are great. I think something about the weapons with all the bloom and everything like that tends to mess me up as well.
Yeah.
Like that. And I'm not going to go out of my way and be like, oh, sprinting makes Halo bad and Reach introduced sprinting
no,
and all
not
that
the
sort of thing. And
sprinting.
it's like, I can take sprinting or leave it. It doesn't worry me. Like,
I like sprinting.
I'll play both. I really like
Personally.
how Infinite does it. Where it's
Yeah.
like, it's not very,
I
like,
can agree.
yeah, it's not very negligible, like how different sprinting is in Infinite. How, like, it makes you feel like you're sprinting. That's the main thing.
It's enough of a difference.
Like, whereas in like Reach, you had to pick up the pack and all that sort of thing. Like
Yeah.
I think I'm more of a fan of equipment over armor abilities.
I agree.
Yeah, like equipment in Halo 3 and in Infinite. I think personally I prefer over like having to attach something to your armor and then you get to use an ability for a
Yeah.
while. I think equipment especially is like it can be used a lot more team based as well as opposed to like one person.
It's person to person
Yeah.
in Reach.
Like there's some like I think like you can get an equipment that basically puts down the bubble shield.
Yeah.
That's team based. However, the rest of them like jetpack, sprint, or
Yeah.
evade, and all that sort of thing. Like they can only be used by a singular person and all that sort of
And
thing.
I think you usually only go to one very specific one as well.
Yeah, you choose the one you like and like that's it.
Yeah. You're like, oh, this is what I'm going with.
I usually either choose sprint or evade. Like
Yeah.
that's sort of it. Yeah, yeah. No Reach. And then the maps in Reach, most of them are like taken straight from the campaign or are like Forge maps
Yeah.
for multiplayer, which, yeah, it's fine, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it makes sense, but
It's fine. I don't know, like, some of them feel really odd to play in as a multiplayer session.
they
Yes, as well.
definitely are. I'm like, what?
Yeah. And then, like, when it comes to the campaign and everything like that, I think the story is pretty good overall, however, like,
Oh, yeah.
and then, like, it is somewhat, like, funny how they have to, like, I don't know if I should say funny, how, like, they like, pick off all the Spartans. Like, yeah, I understand why.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I understand why. It's like showing how bad everything is and all
for-
that sort of stuff.
There's
Meanwhile,
one that
June
lived,
gets
wasn't
away.
there? Yeah.
Oh golly, sorry. What did you
I was
say?
saying there was one that lived.
Yeah. It's like- and then your strange way of saying Carter, which is fun.
Carter.
And then Cat
I
as
don't
a
know, it
character.
sounds completely the same to me. Cat is cat.
Cat can't drive. That's a big meme, I'm
No.
pretty sure. And then George is great.
George is great.
And I'm sad that George goes for nothing, basically.
It's really unfortunate.
Yeah. Noble Six, like the idea and concept of Noble Six is pretty neat. I do like playing as myself and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
However, it's funny because you can put Chief's voice on him
It is a bit
and
odd.
then dress up as Chief, and then you can play as Chief.
Yep.
And
And that's that.
if you really do it the right way around, like one of the YouTubers I've seen have done, they can hire Chief to like Chief's voice actor on Cameo to do all the lines and dub it over. Oh golly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good
no.
way to do it.
Reach, which will probably make people upset, is probably our least favorite game. Not a bad game.
Yeah.
Like none of the Halo games.
No,
are-
not bad.
I wouldn't consider any of the Halo games to be bad. I know Halo 5 has its flaws.
Halo 5 has interesting bits and pieces, but yeah, I wouldn't say any of them specifically are bad either.
I think all the Halo games are pretty good for the most part. And
Also, Reach's armors as well.
yeah,
Some of
I
them
don't.
look a little bit clunky.
Yeah, like I
However,
like the
a lot
armor
of them
design
for
overall.
Halo are
However, I
really
don't
good.
like how gritty they make them all.
Yeah,
Is my biggest
which
thing. I think.
though,
I
I
think
mean,
they
it
do
makes
them a lot
sense for the
better in
story.
Infinite, personally.
Yeah,
However,
the armors, especially compared to what is 5 and Infinite,
yeah,
are much better.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, next up is CE Anniversary,
Oh,
which is you expecting me to say 4?
yeah. I was like, we're just going in order.
Oh golly, yeah. CE Anniversary came out after Reach.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
And I've got to sort of be straight about it. I really don't like the redesigns in CE Anniversary. I'm honestly,
It's
whenever I play Halo
updated.
CE, I play the original look and everything like that.
Yeah,
I'm not a biggest fan of a lot of that sort of stuff. And I tend to switch back and forth between the sound, like the music and all that sort of thing. I like a lot of both of them, really.
yeah.
There's not much else to really talk about here because it is CE overall.
It's
Like,
the same sort of thing.
yeah, overall it's a great game. However, I really don't like the new look.
Yeah,
That's
I
sort of
think
where I
that's
go for
fair.
that. Halo 4 divisive time. We like Halo 4.
Yes.
Well, like a lot. It's my second favorite Halo game.
Yep. I would put it as my favorite personally.
Like,
I
we
know a
like
lot
it
of
for a
people would
lot.
be like,
Not gonna
"Oh."
lie, some of the armors look horrible. They really do.
Some of them are just odd.
The multiplayer is very COD-like. It has
Yeah,
loadouts and streaks and all that sort of thing.
but it is good.
It's done in a very Halo-y way, though, in my opinion, and it
Yep.
is probably one of my favorite stories in a Halo game is Halo 4's.
It's got a good story.
Yeah. The Diet Act as a villain, I think, is okay. And the Prometheans
He
as
could be better.
enemies. Well, while the Prometheans as enemies don't really go above and beyond, I think they're they're serviceable enough. Have
Yeah.
like, I think a lot of our like for Halo 4 comes from like when we played it and how long we played it for,
Yeah.
type thing. And like, I'll always go back to Halo 4. I like how it controls and everything like that. Like,
Yeah.
and it's got my
That's where
second
I got
favorite.
Boxer from.
I don't know why I keep going back to this. It's got my second favorite needle design. I don't know why I keep
Look,
going
the
back
needle
to
is important.
the needle is. I'm like, yeah, I think it like, well, it has some very strange weapons like the bolt, the bolt shot, which is
Bullet shot can be used properly in some very specific circumstances.
yeah, it can be as well be overpowered if you're using loadouts.
Mm.
I'm like, and then having a plasma pistol on loadout is probably not the best thing for vehicle maps.
It's interesting.
And then there's like Haven came from Halo 4.
Yeah.
And Haven is one of the best maps ever in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
I like a lot of Halo 4's maps. I like the
They did good with the maps.
yeah. I like the Ragnarok. I like Ragnarok. Impact I like a fair bit. I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't like Impact. I like Impact.
Impact
It's the outer space
isn't
one.
Bad. Yeah.
And then what's that other canyon like map that's surrounded by like rock walls?
Oh,
The one that's circular.
ah.
Oh,
Yeah, the one that goes in a circle.
yeah, that one. I really like that one. I always have
Oh
fun playing
goodness. I can't remember.
that. We'd never really played
Also,
many
the
of
one-
the DLC maps.
No, we really didn't.
Because like
the
we
one
got
with
them
all of like the trees.
the trees. Yeah.
Not trees, but roots and whatever else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I like that map a lot. I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't like that one either. I like that one.
Really?
Yeah. I might be wrong about that, however, by what I've seen at least, a lot of people don't like it. However, like, yeah. You know, the armors look goofy in Halo 4. However, you can get some nice ones as well.
Yeah.
And I think the progression system, this is what I'll give Halo 4. The progression system in Halo 4 is easily the best one.
It has honestly one of the best progression systems I've seen in a game like that.
Yeah. The fact that you like, yeah, you level up, you unlock points, and then you buy things with your points. It's simple. It's easy.
It makes sense.
You don't have to go through all this extra stuff to get things that you want. Like, you don't have to pay real world money to buy a bunch of different like armors unless you're buying DLC. How like
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
well, yeah. I don't know. I think it's honestly like the best, like the way things unlock as well. I don't know.
It's just good.
Yeah, it's great, and I wish
And
they'd bring
like
something
sitting
like that
there waiting for you to get up to that SR level, and you're like, oh, there's this next thing.
back. Yeah, and you unlock things for getting up to the next SR levels as well.
Yeah.
You don't like, it's not only in like buying form. Like you unlock things as you play, as well as the fact that you can like store up things. I know Reach has a similar system. However, I think the way 4 does it
It's not as
personally is
good as
better.
Reach.
Yeah, I think I think like having all the little challenges that you can do in Halo 4 and everything as well, which is something that carried over to MCC and Infinite, the challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of helps
It
as
was
well.
still done better in 4.
Yeah, and yeah,
my
because you
opinion.
can as well with the challenges unlock armor pieces by doing the challenges,
Yeah.
which is like, that's progression. That's
That's what it is.
that's literally what progression is. You're progressing. You're earning something for the work you put in, not like arbitrary points a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Or in Infinite's case, the ability to go up the tiers. You know, I think Halo 4's progression is like easily the best personally. I think, and its menus, while not very Halo-y, I guess. However, like it's all lists. Everything's a list.
But it still works.
It's a list.
It is a list.
It's not like 5 and Infinite where everything is like blocks that move from left to right,
Yeah, it's not blocks.
which take forever to load in and slow the game and the menu down way too much for no reason. And make the menus bigger than they need to be. Like in Halo 4, like all like, is it like 4 menus that you switch between, or like
Yeah.
all in the same area and you switch between them? You can find everything really quickly.
Yep.
Like I like all that. And I like how like the Spartan cards are like displayed down the bottom when you're queuing and all that
Yeah,
sort
that's good.
of thing. I like how that works out.
That's fun.
Yeah, no. Halo 4 is like... we have a lot of good to say about Halo 4 compared to a lot of other games.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I really like Halo 4. I do really like the story. I replay through the campaign a lot. Probably more than every other Halo game other than CE's. Like... So because
Yeah.
I like the campaign. It has its bad levels, that's for sure. Forerunner comes to mind. Just other than the Ghost Run. I actually like the Ghost Run. However,
Yeah, the Ghost Run's good.
like it probably has Halo 4 compared to 1, 2, and 3 has like pretty high highs in my opinion. However, like as well has really low lows.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit less consistent than the previous Halo games. However, like I like the highs in it personally. And the music, which I know a lot of people don't like it because it's not very Halo-y. However, like Requiem, when you first walk out onto Requiem and you see all the good things, like, oh, that's good music.
Yeah.
And then 117 and all that sort of thing, like the main theme of Halo 4
Yeah,
is great. Yeah, no, I like Halo 4.
Yeah.
It is always the fun one. I think, in my opinion at least, Halo 4 is probably, like, for us at least, maybe. I don't know about you. For me at least, Halo 4 is probably my favorite to play in multiplayer.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. You can always have, like, fun messing around with everything in Halo 4 in the multiplayer. in the campaign. Yeah, I
There's
think it's
some
great.
wild things.
And I don't mind. The redesigns are a topic and a half. I don't like them as much as the normal designs. I don't
But
prefer
they're
the
not
redesigns.
bad.
I'm not like, yeah, I've gotten used to, like, Chief's armor's like okay. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
But I don't like Cortana's redesign at all. In Halo 4 and all that sort of thing. Like the ships. The Infinity, while it looks like a Halo ship, it looks like it has a lot of extra stuff added onto it for no reason. And that's the same with all the weapons as well. They look like they've had like extra
All
stuff
the
like
weapons.
plastered over
All
it.
the floaty bits.
Yeah, it's like all these extra things. It's like,
Oh, that's more Halo 5, I suppose.
yeah.
All the floaty bits.
And we're like, yeah, no, like otherwise though, it's I like Halo 4.
Yeah.
I think that's the one we talked for most of.
I mean, it makes sense.
After Halo 4 is MCC, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that sounds right. Unless we go into the Spartan games.
Nah.
I played through them a while back. I did it. I've done like rankings of each of the levels out of every Halo game. They're in there. My thoughts are
Yeah.
they're okay for what they are. I don't mind them. They're pretty
Makes sense.
simple. Yeah. No. Then Spartan Ops. We forgot to mention Spartan Ops for Halo 4.
Oh, Smart Ops.
I
Yeah.
like Spartan Ops. I know it's a little bit frustrating to play if you're playing by yourself.
Yeah.
I don't like that it replaced fire. Words. Didn't work then.
Firefight?
Yeah. my brain like misclicked halfway through that.
Like fire. Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, no. I don't mind Spartan Ops.
it's not bad.
Okay. Yeah, MCC. I like that it's a good collection of games.
It's a collection.
Yeah.
It
I like.
does what it does.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of the new armors they've added though.
No.
I'm not the biggest fan of adding. I'm
The
very
weird armors.
as we'll get into in Halo 5 especially and in
And
Halo
Infinite.
Infinite. I'm very huge into the like Halo style being very specific.
Yeah.
Well, I can
I
get
like
by.
it when
Yeah, well, I can get
armors
by
look
with
like
Halo
they're from
4.
Halo.
It starts to get a little bit iffy afterwards.
Yeah.
And then like how they've added like you can get like Viking costumes in MCC now and all that sort of
So
stuff.
odd.
It's like I don't mind like some of the fun things like being able to get like is it like a grunt backpack?
Yeah.
Or something like
That
like,
stuff makes sense.
That's fun. Like that's a
I have
fun
an
little
Xbox
thing.
backpack.
And that's like yeah, the Xbox backpack and all that sort of thing. Like they're fun little things that like you can get like swords and things like that. Have like when the whole Spartan is like covered head to toe in Viking gear.
It's really weird.
It's like yeah, no, I and night gear. It's like there's like a plague doctor as well, I'm pretty sure.
I think there is, yeah.
It's like why are these all here? Yeah, no. Not my favorite thing in the world. I do like MCC a fair bit though, especially after they fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's good.
It's really great. Halo 5.
5.
Halo 5.
But you-
It's a game.
It's. Yep.
Halo 5 is in such a strange limbo for me.
Yeah.
Because, like, objectively, I can see it's probably the worst Halo game.
Yes.
However, subjectively, I really enjoyed my time with it. I don't understand.
I agree. I see it and I'm like, maybe it's because it's the worst.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's like fun running through it and laughing at everything. It's like how people have fun with Sonic 06. It's like
Yeah.
Sonic 06 is objectively a train wreck. How it's fun to go through.
Yeah, you have fun with it because it's hilarious. I think.
Yeah, and I think that goes to like Halo 5. I guess first thing I'll get out of the way of Halo 5, Warzone. I really like Warzone. I know a lot of people don't, and then a lot of people do. I think it's a pretty mixed
I am meh.
topic. I really like that. I would like to see another sort of mode like that. I think they've added something similar to Infinite now.
I think
Similar
so?
as like
I don't know. I don't
maybe
play
might
much
be a
outside of
time mode or
Fiesta.
something. I don't know. However, like, yeah, no, I think I like Warzone. I guess sort of to get out of the way. I don't like that it replaced a
might
lot
be
of
a
other
dog in the
things though
recording.
to get there.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it took the Halo 5 is really where it started. Where like the game came out and it took them months to get things in that should have been there from launch.
Yeah.
Like Griffball, which isn't in Halo Infinite yet, is it?
Did you drop out or?
I don't think.
It sounds like you dropped out.
Griffball
Oh,
and
oh no.
Infection, I believe, when
Did
they
you
were at
drop
launch.
out?
And we have disconnected from the
I never
party
got
chat.
to hear
Hopefully
the end of
everything
that
joins back in
sentence.
fairly soon.
No.
However, I will keep talking while that happens. Yeah,
Oh,
Griffball and all that sort of thing.
Where's the end of that
Not-
sentence?
Not in Halo 5 at launch.
Oh, no.
Infection wasn't in Halo 5 at launch. Things
sure
like
it'll come
that,
back
like
in a minute.
all that sort of stuff should have been.
Please excuse me.
Should
There
have
may
been
also
there.
be a dog.
Let's see if I
in
can
this
quickly get back
recording.
into the party with Kinunners, or I'm gonna have to skip ahead. Or I should be able to get back in, hopefully.
Did you come back?
3,
Did you
2,
make it?
There we go. Back.
There we go.
There we go. I kept talking and explaining things that way I don't have to cut ahead.
I heard nothing.
which is fair. Okay.
You just like cut off before saying the rest of the sentence, and I was like, oh, well,
Yeah, I was asking if like Griffball's not in Infinite, is it?
no.
No, I didn't think it was. Yeah, it took ages for Griffball and Infection and all that to come to Halo 5. I remember.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. Halo 5, yeah, Halo 5 and Forge. Like,
Forge.
Halo 5. All these sort of things need to be in Halo games at launch because, like, it's an expected feature.
Yeah.
Like, you get a Halo game, you expect those things to be there. Like, yeah, no, Halo 5 is an interesting game.
Basically, multiplayer is interesting.
Yeah, multiplayer is very interesting.
Campaign is hilariously bad.
I'm not the biggest fan of like how like the Spartan abilities, I think they call them in Halo 5 specifically.
Oh,
Where like the moveset is like overcomplicated and you can do everything.
It really is.
Like I like it for what it is and I enjoy playing with it, however I don't like it as a Halo staple.
Yeah.
It's not something I would prefer to be in the Halo games. I think it's like
it being a one-off is better that way.
Yeah, it's good enough for me. If I ever want to play that style of game, I can go back and play Halo 5 now. However, like,
yep,
type thing, like, yeah. And they really need to bring 5 to PC, I think.
Yeah, they really do.
However, like, yeah, no, 5. Yeah, I don't.
5.
I like playing it. However, I don't think it's like the best. Personally, I think it's the biggest thing. The campaign is all over the place. Easily the worst. Easily the worst story. My gosh,
I don't even know what's happening half the time.
It's such a... I don't understand. And the fact that you only play as Chief 3 levels out of, like, however many there are.
Yeah.
That's a little bit silly. Like, I remember that when they were sort of showing it off the start, it was like, oh, you switch between Chief and Locke. And it's like, oh, okay, like Halo 2. Like,
yeah, it makes sense.
One level after another type thing, roughly.
And then now, like, no, Locke is basically the main character now.
Locke is the main character.
It's like, what?
Everyone else, no. And then they introduced Blue Team, and they didn't do anything with them.
Oh.
Really? Which makes me upset, because Blue Team are great.
Yeah.
Blue Team are, like, some of the best characters.
Literally. They have Frederick, and they did absolutely nothing with him.
Yeah. Fred didn't get blown up.
No.
Like he does in books.
Survive an explosion like he does all the other time. Yeah.
No. And like Fred's meant to be like the comedic one. And all that sort of thing.
And he said like 2 lines.
Yeah, he says like 2 lines. He does a slight quip rather than a joke or anything like that. And all that sort of stuff. Linda and Kelly sound like they're standing around half the time. Like, what do they do? Like, they walk beside Chief.
They're just standing.
It's like, oh golly. Yeah, no. The whole Cortana plot twist is,
It's just
I'll take it or leave it,
what it is.
Type thing. I'm kind of glad at how they handled it in Infinite, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And all that sort of stuff. Like, yeah, the Cortana plotline thingy was all over the place. And then, and then, in my opinion, the Prometheans were less fun to battle in Infinite. In 5, sorry.
They just weren't as good.
I don't know what it is, because in Halo 4, they're basically bullet sponges.
Yeah.
However, I prefer battling them in Halo 4 than Halo 5, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I agree.
However, yeah, I guess, yeah, that's the campaign. It is such an all-over-the-place experience. I played it through by myself, and then we played it through together, which was fun.
Yep.
It's
hilarious, nonetheless.
Yeah. Playing it on Legendary, I don't recommend. No, I've done that.
Oh.
My gosh. The amount of different
Hunters.
things that simply come out of the... Like, I think I've got a quick clip back, like, up of it when I was back playing it and everything like that. Of, like, all these different things that were simply happening because it was a harder difficulty.
In front of you.
Yeah. Yeah. I was behind a wall. All of a sudden, there's, like, plasma on the ground through the wall or something like that. And it's like...
It's like, what?
It's like, okay, thanks, game. And like, oh yeah, I think the biggest example of one was like an elite that was looking completely the opposite direction of me.
Yeah.
And I started to scope in on it, and he like starts firing at me before he even turns around. And it's like, that's not how you do difficulty.
What?
Oh golly, you know. Yeah, Halo 5 is an interesting game. I have my fun with it. I'll go back and play it every now and then. However, like for the most part, I think its best feature is Helios.
Yeah.
Like you're being able to explore Helios at least a little bit in its stages and everything like that. I think that's fun.
And it is also colourful.
Yeah, it looks
I
it's
will
like
give it
bright.
that.
And like even like the dark rainy area on Helios that you go through, it's like it's very stylized and it looks nice.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, that's Halo 5. Halo Wars 2.
Well, there you go again. Another one for you.
I really like Halo Wars 2. It's probably one of my favorite Halo stories. I like how much of a spotlight the 3 Spartans get, especially Jerome.
That is fair.
It's almost like they were setting up Jerome and Isabel as like the second chief in Cortana.
And then they just didn't.
Yeah, like I really like how like Wars 2's story goes and everything like that. I don't like that it seems a little short. That sort of thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's for the most part though. I think it's pretty alright. The cutscenes in Halo Wars 2 though.
Yeah.
I want a whole TV series animated by I think it's Blur Studios.
I don't know who it is.
Who did the cutscenes for 2 Anniversary. We didn't talk about 2 Anniversary when we were talking about MCC.
No, we didn't. It's fine.
We'll go back. However, the cutscenes for the 2 Anniversary and Halo Wars 2 are some of the best looking cutscenes like in any game ever, in my opinion.
They are nice.
I want to see a whole thing like that. And like showing off what the Spartans can actually do in universe is always some of the best like parts, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Halo Wars, both the Halo Wars games are really good for that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Halo Wars 2's DLC. I know a lot of people didn't like the Blitz mode, I think it's called. I didn't mind it. I think that was pretty good. And all that sort of stuff. And then like all the DLC, like you can get Johnson in Halo Wars 2.
Johnson.
In a mech. Johnson in a mech.
In a mech?
Yeah.
That's great.
And it's amazing. Like all that sort of stuff. Like that's the fun stuff they need to be doing with it, not adding like night costumes or stuff like that. Oh,
really
golly,
is
how do you know? I really like Halo Wars 2. I wish it would have like a proper Steam release to save the poor thing because it really didn't get much life.
It really didn't.
Halo Wars 2 deserves better. I don't like the cliffhanger sort of like ended in with Halo 5 and then has never been touched on again. Sort of ended there. Despite the fact that Atriox is now not on the Ark as well. It's like, yeah. Anyway.
He's just hanging out, you know?
Yeah, that's Halo Wars 2. And then, we'll quickly get back to Halo 2 Anniversary. I much prefer it over Halo CE Anniversary's version of doing things.
Yeah.
I actively choose to play Halo 2 Anniversary's graphics over normal Halo 2 because I think it looks great.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it looks pretty good.
It's pretty much it.
And the cutscenes are stellar.
An update in graphics.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And then I guess that we can quickly talk about the arcade game.
The arcade game?
Yeah, there's an arcade game. Fireteam Raven.
Oh.
It takes place
I don't know anything about it.
It takes place during Halo CE, and it has Halo CE graphics, which makes me upset. However, it brings in a flood form that was like cut from Halo 2 or something, which was neat.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, I want to play it. I could have had a chance. I saw it at a place, and then I didn't, and I regret it.
Wow.
I regret it very much.
Need to go find it again.
I don't even know if they'd have them there anymore. It was in
Probably
Sydney.
not. Yeah.
Oh, golly. Sydney, Australia. Okay, then after that, Halo Infinite.
It's infinite.
I feel like you've said that for everyone.
They're also like distinct but not.
Yeah. Halo Infinite, I think it's overall a pretty good return to form.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I like Infinite. I don't think I'd rate it as one of the top.
No.
Personally. However, like when it comes to playing Halo multiplayer at the moment, Infinite's really the one that I'll go back to because I think out of every Halo game, it's probably got my favorite controls.
It has good controls.
Yeah, I think it plays best than any other Halo, personally.
Though I will say, there has to be something off with the way the weapons are. Like, just slightly. Because
Okay.
in the previous games, I was someone who could use a sniper, like, perfectly fine,
Oh yeah.
pretty much. I cannot use a sniper to save my
The
life.
snipers were changed in Infinite, yeah.
That and well, while I did use melee weapons all the time, I am a lot better with melee
Yeah.
as well. Even with, like, a mangler or something.
Oh golly. Yeah,
Just,
no,
like,
with,
running
with
around punching things.
the snipers, I think it was confirmed way back when the game came out even. Someone was like scoping directly in on the head of someone. They fired and it missed.
Yeah, it's really awkward sometimes.
It's a little bit awkward. I prefer using the skewer over the sniper personally.
I've had my issues with the skewer too, though.
Yeah.
Scoped in on
The
a
skewer
vehicle
is meant
and
to be
did
unwieldy.
nothing.
I think that's the difference.
Yeah, that's true.
Have like Halo Infinite. I think graphically probably the best looking game, and
Yeah.
its art style is on point.
Yeah.
Honestly, Chief's armor is probably it's not my favorite. I prefer the Mark V, the CE's armor.
Yeah.
Chief's armor is probably the
think
best
everyone
it's
does.
ever looked. I don't know why they keep putting the 117 number on his armor nowadays.
Who knows?
I mean, it's neither here nor there for me. I'm pretty sure there's some people who like it. There's some people who don't. It's like
Yeah, it is what it
he's
is.
got a number on it. Okay.
That's him.
However, like no. Chief looks great. The entire game looks great in my opinion, art style wise, bar some
Yeah.
armors in the multiplayer, as we'll get to. We'll go over the campaign first, I guess. Though the story of the campaign is great. It's another simple campaign, I think.
Yeah, it's good.
I think the biggest
Not fully
problem.
finished.
Sorry.
I said I'm not fully finished.
Yeah, I think the
But
biggest
it's good.
problem with the campaign in Infinite though is because it's fully open world. They can't do any huge set pieces like they've done in previous Halo games.
Yeah.
Like their huge set pieces in Halo Infinite boil down to boss battles and hunters, basically. Yeah, the towers and all that sort of
Pretty
stuff. Like there might be a little bit of a set piece in a cutscene, like Chief jumping out of a tower or something like that.
Yeah.
However, like there's
That's
nothing
pretty
like
much it.
the Scarab battles or anything like that. Like,
No.
and I don't know if there's any way they could
Scarab
have.
in Infinite.
I want a
That'd be
Scarab in
amazing.
Infinite. Like it'd be I don't know if how like they'd organically fit it in though. That's the only thing.
Oh, no, I don't know either.
Yeah, I think that's the huge downside to them doing an open world way.
Yeah, just
They can't fit things
there's
like
things
that
that
in.
just
Like
would not work.
you can't have a level dedicated to getting to this really neat thing and taking out this really neat thing and all that sort of thing because like the levels are not really existent. Like there is levels in Halo Infinite, however they're always indoors in Forerunner
Yeah.
levels and all that sort of thing. Like
And Chaklock is a gentleman.
Jack he is indeed. Oh golly. Yeah, no. I personally I like I like the campaign overall, however I would prefer if they go back to a linear game, personally.
Yeah.
More like Halo CE where it's like it's linear, however, like maybe there might be 2 or 3 levels where you can explore a little bit more,
Yeah.
like open world-ish, which is that is like a perfect mix for me, I think, personally.
It is good.
Like I think a lot of a lot of Infinite has a lot of downsides because of its open world.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's no other biomes other than like Timberland is one. That's kind of frustrating. There's like no snow, no desert.
No, there's no snow even on the top of a mountain.
Yeah, it's like, and like Halo games are known for like the various locations and all that sort of thing. Like the game prior, they literally went to an alien homeworld, like
Yeah.
where it was like all Greek ruin type stuff and things like that.
Yep.
And then in a different part of that homeworld, there was like buildings floating over the top of like, well, not really floating, they had poles going down. They were like over the top of water with like circular angles and everything. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like all that sort of stuff is like it's all trees, grass, water, dirt, and hexagons.
Dead trees at that too. Hexagons. A lot of
Yeah.
hexagons.
Bad trees.
Dead
Yeah.
trees.
Oh golly. Yeah, lots and lots of hexagons in Infinite. Not as many as they showed off in the original trailers, luckily.
And no Covenant carbine.
And no carbine. And no Magnum.
Yeah.
And we have to use the Bulldog.
True.
Clearly inferior weapons. Personally, I'm like, yeah, no. Yeah, otherwise though, like Halo Infinite, I think it's a fairly good return to form. I would like to see them further this with a linear style game where they can flesh out the story much more as well, because the open world's not hindering it.
Yeah.
Because like I've personally always played Halo more for the story over multiplayer.
Yeah.
And like while I didn't like Halo 5's story, that was the thing.
It
Like,
still worked for what it was, though, I guess.
yeah. Halo Infinite, I found like very not very consistent, like through like the pacing, and I think that's because like half the time you spent like running around doing other things in the open world. Yeah, that's the campaign, I guess. I do like the new characters though.
Yeah.
You can say their names
Definitely.
because you like saying their names.
The weapon is the weapon.
I honestly, probably a take that no one will like is I prefer the weapon over Cortana, personally. I prefer her personality.
A take.
I think it depends which Cortana though, I guess. Because like
Yeah, that's true.
Halo CE Cortana is great and all that sort of thing. Well, maybe I don't prefer her over Cortana. I think they're a lot more on par than I think. Yeah,
She
I don't know.
makes sense as an addition, but I'm just like meh every single time she speaks.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then
Now I'm going back on that thought. Maybe I do prefer Cortana more. Yeah, Fernando,
Espazo. Is that his name?
otherwise known as the pilot.
Yep.
There's a lot of people like to call him. He's great. I like him as a character.
He's great.
I think he can be a little bit maybe complainy.
Yeah.
However, for the most
But
part,
I mean, it makes sense.
yeah. However, for the
I
most part,
would
he's
be
a
too
little
in
bit.
that situation.
Villains. You got Jaeger and
Jack Block's a gentleman.
yeah, Jaeger, which was really underwhelming. The battle against Jaeger.
Yeah.
Personally, Escharam, which I think is a great final battle. Well, not really a final battle. The Harbinger exists, however, yeah.
The Harbinger is the Harbinger.
Yeah. The Harbinger is an interesting character that I'm imagining they will flesh out more in the future.
That brute chieftain is more
yeah,
of a
and
character.
her final battle is against a brute chieftain more than is her, which is interesting. Yeah, and then I guess then like the new monitors, I guess.
Yeah.
One thing I guess I'll note before we move on from the campaign is the hunters in the campaign are horrible because they ported them directly over from Halo 5.
They're really not good.
They are not fun to battle.
Not too long ago.
Yeah.
And they're just,
They are not fun to battle. It's like,
no.
oh yeah. Yeah, that's it for the campaign. And then its multiplayer is very controversial.
Yeah.
And I think overall it's probably the most fun I've had with a Halo multiplayer since 4, maybe.
Since 4, yeah.
However, like at the same time, it has a lot of
I can
elements
see why it's bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Infinite's multiplayer a fair bit. However, I think it has a lot of things, especially with the monetization side, that brings it down.
Yeah, and its progression system is just
and its progression
horrendous.
system is horrible and was late.
It was late. Very late.
How did they launch a game without a progression system? My gosh. And that's the big thing with Infinite as well, where Halo 5 was bad enough for how late everything was for it. At least it all came out in the span of a year.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite came out in the span of like it's almost 3 years old now.
Yeah, like 3.
And this thing's missing now, and it's 3 years old
Still.
almost. It's like, oh my gosh, Infinite. Where? And then most things are locked behind a store and all that sort of stuff. I think the base core multiplayer is probably the best that we've had in a while. However, like, the customization and all that sort of stuff is like,
it's interesting.
I'm personally someone who doesn't mind the core system. I like
the core system is not bad.
I like that it separates, or it used to separate the bad armor looks from the good ones.
Yeah.
However, like, I think going forward, I think like if they keep the core system, I think it would be better if like it was more rather than like a system with specific items on it. Rather, it was like you get a certain amount of Spartans that you can customize. That way, whenever you want to, you can change between your Spartan customizations rather than like having
Yeah.
one that you have to keep changing. That's how I think it would be better to go. There's
makes
not
sense.
that many weapons in Halo Infinite as well,
No.
really, and they never add any. The only
The
weapons they've
commando.
added, the only weapons they've added is the DMR and the DMR with a scope since launch.
The bandit.
It's like, yeah, the bandit, that's it. The bandit and then a scoped bandit. It's the only things they've added since launch,
Yep.
which is like, that is horrible. Especially after Halo 5's like way too many weapon variants and normal weapons in general. Like Halo 5 brought back the Halo C Magnum, the Halo 2 BR,
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. Like in its
And this
DLC.
over here is like, nah, you have a sidekick and a disruptor.
Yeah. Halo
fun.
Infinite's finally brought back the Halo CE AR, except the fact that it's only a model and you can't actually use the proper AR.
Yeah.
It plays
And it
differently.
was locked behind
Yes.
the paywall.
Oh golly, that's horrible. Yeah, a lot of that sort of stuff. The fact that colors aren't customizable
Oh my god.
properly, that frustrates me. Something that started in Halo 5 that frustrates me is how limited emblems are.
Yeah.
You can't really customize the full emblem. You can only choose like
Emblems are strange.
in 5. Yeah, in 5 you could only choose the emblem and the color, and then in Infinite it's the same, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, but then the color also has like 2 or 3 colors with it that changes as well. And then
Yeah.
so you have emblems that are like, I like this part, but I can do without this other part.
Yeah, it's just like there's never really, there might be, however, there's like never really an emblem that you're fully happy with, because it's like
Yeah. I remember I changed the color of my background for the emblem.
yeah,
not
and
long
then
ago.
they've got backgrounds which are new parts which I like.
Yeah,
The emblem have like backgrounds. I say new parts, they've always been there
not they're there, but
in the older games. However, like they're a little bit different now. That type of thing.
Yeah.
Shall we go on to the armor designs? They were really good to start with.
yeah, to start
Oh.
with.
They were excellent to start with, and then
And then
Chimera
there was
came out.
Chimera.
I think it sort of really started with like, because you got the Yoroi armor, which I think is a really
Yeah.
good Halo take. I think that's how
I
they should do
don't
it.
mind it.
Yeah, I think that's how they should do it. Is like Halo takes on things.
And every time I see one, I'm like, funny
Yeah.
camera.
Of like I like the Yoroi Eagle Strike. I'm not the biggest fan of.
Just looks.
However, I think it at the very least tries to fit in.
Yeah.
Chimera, on the other hand. Well, honestly, I think it's worse than almost all of Halo 5's
It's
armors.
really, it's interesting.
There's some in Halo 5 that I think are worse, however, for the most part, Chimera is honestly one of the worst armors I've
They're
ever seen.
not great.
And everybody uses it almost.
Yeah.
I
It
don't
seems to be really well liked.
I
And
don't
then I see them
understand.
like, why?
It looks horrible.
It's so odd.
And then like some of the other, like the rest of the armors are pretty, like Rakshasha and all that sort of thing. They're pretty okay for the most part. What would be the most? I guess the hazard suits were a little bit strange.
Yeah, but even then, they're still like.
Yeah, they
makes
fit in
sense.
a lot better. Like,
Yeah.
and then the new Mark IV stuff looks amazing. However, most of it, I was
Yes.
watching a video this morning. Out of I think there's 7 sets of Mark IV armor out, at least at the time of that video. You could only get one by playing the game. The rest of them were all in the store.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's silly.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh, that's silly. Yeah, no. Armors, while Halo Infinite has an amazing style, I want them to keep it to that style as opposed to keeping adding like
Yeah,
things like Chimera
please.
and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, also the challenges. Some of them are so dodgy.
Yeah. Oh, golly.
It's like, what?
I don't understand why they can't have the challenges track while you're playing.
I,
Like, they show up in the pause menu now, however, like, they don't track it at all. It's like,
nah, it's really weird.
in Halo, in MCC, they pop up on the side of the screen whenever you get to a milestone in the challenge.
Yeah,
It's like, why can't they do that in Infinite as well? Like,
I don't know.
not to mention how slow Infinite was when it first came out.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah, I think it's a lot better now. At least on my Series X, it's a lot better now. I don't know how it's been for you. How
Yeah, it's pretty good now.
the menus were dreadful.
They were awful.
They were some of the slowest things I've ever had to use. Oh golly. However, yeah, no. Halo Infinite, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Overall, I like it.
Yeah.
However, yeah, that is the final one to go over.
Yeah.
I think we should probably wrap this podcast
Probably.
up soon. Because
Indeed.
we have some more stuff to record after this, and my voice
Getting
is starting to
quite
get sore. Therefore, we'll quickly run over the rest of the end of stuff that we do on the podcast, I guess.
Yep.
Poll time.
Okay. So, we've had, what is it? Which round? Round 2, Group 1, and Round 2, Group 2. And we've had Sothis and what looks to be Grima. Yeah.
Okay. And this
Sothis
is
and
for
Grima.
anyone unaware, because this is their
This is
first
for the Fire
episode.
Emblem
This
stuff.
is for Fire Emblem.
Yeah, Sothis and Grima. And then the other one has Ceres and Lumera,
Yeah.
which is interesting. Because Lumera's fan base is like... She's not popular,
Yeah.
but she is.
And
It's weird.
this isn't this isn't our
No.
one. By the way, we're looking at the results from someone else's. We got it linked in the description.
Yeah, they're in
We're
the
always there.
description.
More because we're more curious rather than anything, and I like to have
Yeah,
that updated.
just pure curiosity.
Yeah. And then when it comes to our poll for the week, what is favorite
I
Halo
don't
game?
even think we had... Oh, you're talking about this one?
Oh yeah, for this one coming.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, what was last week's?
Nothing.
Oh. Oh well. Anyway. Yeah, this week's
Anyway, yeah.
probably favorite Halo game.
Probably.
That'll
That
do.
sounds about right.
Can we put the Spartan games in there as well for the fun of it?
Does anyone know them?
Okay, we won't worry about it. I don't know if there's like a limit to how many things we can put into a poll.
I don't know.
However,
I know you can put at least 5.
yeah.
I think.
However, yeah, no. Other than that, though, is there anything else to share?
No.
No, that's all right. Okie dokie. I hope everybody enjoyed this overly long podcast. It's been quite a long one
A
this
bit
time
long.
around.
Mostly because of Halo 4.
And now we have to get on to recording some other stuff. Therefore, I hope everybody enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and we shall be back in the next one. Cheers, everyone.
Goodbye.